Okay, so here's a very quick lesson on something I get asked all the time from beginners, and it's how to finger tap and do your kind of. It's always dead impressive, when you see people doing it. Well, when you're a beginner, obviously, when you played a while. It's that kind of Eddie Van Halen. Kind of style, three notes in a string, two with the left hand, one with the right hand. So here's a quick exercise to get you started, then I'll explain a couple of technical things that you see sometimes get mentioned, one of them you never see get mentioned. Okay, so here's one way in how to do it. So if you go, let's do it in the top E string, so if you go to fret 4, okay, and I'm going to use my third finger here. If it's too much of a stretch, you can use your pinky. I've got quite long fingers, so I'll use that. Feels a little bit more controlled. That's in fret 7, so it's 4, 7. And then you're going to tap with your right hand, okay, and I'm going to use my second finger, okay, and I'm going to hit it fret 12 to get that note, okay. So I'm going to push in 12, push off to 4, then hammer on to 7. Okay, and then just repeat that. 12, 4, 7, 12, 4, 7, 12. Okay, now the temptation will be try and play it dead fast, but it'll sound like that. You need to get the coordination, so you hear each note one after another. 12, 4, 7, 12, 4, 7, 12, 4, 7. Now keep doing that for a while. Speed it up gradually. You don't need to really worry about trying to get faster, because once you get the technique right, because it's divided between your two hands, it is actually relatively easy, and even if you've not played for a little while, it's not something you need to practice. It's not like alternate picking, where if you don't practice it for a couple of days, you start to lose the technique a little bit. So 12, 4, 7, 12, 4. Now, things to bear in mind are, you'll see here my right hand, I'm sitting on the low strings, and I'm actually sitting on the fretboard here, so I don't need to move my hand back and forth. Okay. Also, I'm kind of muting the strings, so I'm not hearing any of that extra noise there. You want to stamp that out. And another thing I'm doing is I'm using my middle finger here, and I'm keeping a hold of my plectrum. So this means I can transition between tapping and other techniques. So sweeping and tapping is quite a common thing. It's quite a common thing to combine. Now, you will see a lot of players using their first finger. Probably the most famous person to ever tapped, Eddie Van Halen, he uses his first finger, but he does hold his plectrum with his middle finger here. Another thing you'll see people do a lot is they'll take their plectrum and they'll hold it underneath their middle finger. It's a bit messy there. Okay, so either's fine, but if you're kind of weighing it up and you're starting at the beginning, I would say hold it with your first finger and then use that. Okay, and then it's the same grip if you're doing kind of like a hybrid technique. If you want to use multiple fingers, can use my pinky, then it just makes a little bit more sense, I think. Now, another thing to consider is, maybe if you're a bit more advanced player, if you go 12, 4, 7, that actually outlines a major chord. So it's an E major chord, so that'd be your root note there. Now, if you slide up a fret, which always reminds me of Randy Rhoads, it turns it into an A minor, and that becomes your root note. Major, minor, major, minor. And another thing I do is sometimes I'll take it across the strings. So this would be E major, A, D major, G major, B major, E major, and same, so A minor, D minor, G minor, C minor, B E minor, A minor. Okay, so things to watch out for. Make sure you're muting the strings. Take your time at first. Get nice solid notes. And then maybe one other thing you can throw in once you get that down is I got this from Randy Rhoads, the Flying High Again solo. I think I actually got it from George Lynch, as you can do a double tap with the right hand. So I'm changing the pattern there. I'm doing it what I would call a kind of note row. So I'm going 12, 7, 4, 7, 12. Then I'm tapping twice. Okay, puts the Flying High Again solo 9, 12, 17, and takes it across the diagonal. George Lynch's song, was it Tooth and Nail? I think he does something similar in the solo. But anyway, yeah, check that out, and then taking that across the strings, that can sound pretty cool. Pretty kind of impressive. Okay, so that's tapping. What I get asked all the time at beginners lessons is how to do tapping, and that's where you start from before you start doing all your kind of bucket head style stuff and tap arpeggios, etc. Okay, thanks.